Plays from week 8. Yep, you got me back here. We're going to look at a bunch of different stuff. Hopefully have a little fun with some people here. But I just felt like honored to be introduced by the legend, Tim Brando. Tim, take it away.
Born free as the wind blows.
Oh my God.
As free as the grass grows. Born free to follow your heart.
Does he know that I hear him? Brando,
Stay
do you know that?
free.
Brando.
And life is worth living.
Hey, you got to cut
but
this, Scott.
only worth living.
Brando,
Mike Pereira, you're born free. Hello, Mike.
How are you?
You know me. I'm not just going to give you a peplum. I'm going to give you something special.
You know, you might think about playing more golf and singing less.
Oh, it's good to have Big Ten football back. My man, Matt Millen on the left, Lisa Byington doing the one of the big games that we had with the Big Ten starting off. It was just great to have them in the booth. And let's get to some stuff too. How about let's start with Kansas and K-State. You know, the punter gets protection here. So he can't be essentially roughed. He's a defenseless player all the way through the play. Now, he can be blocked if he pursues the play like he is here. So if he basically takes a distinctive defensive position, then he can be blocked. But he's considered defenseless, so he can't be hit in the head or neck area, helmet, shoulder, forearm, wrist, whatever. This is not a foul, but just a good reminder that if that kicker, if that punter is going to try to make a play, he gets defenseless player protection all the way through the down. Nebraska, we're going to go to Nebraska and Ohio State. Just haven't seen it often, but a fair catch on a kickoff. Okay, so you give the fair catch signal, complete the fair catch, then you get the ball at the 25-yard line. Complete the catch. So if he were to muff this ball and it hit the ground and then he possessed it, play would be over because of the fair catch signal, but that's where the ball would end up. You don't get the touchback. So you have to, if you're going to signal, complete that catch. We're going to go to Oklahoma, TCU, and we are going to have a rule of fair catch and no fumble here. And it's just, you know, worthy of talking about what you can do in terms of signaling and what you can't. This on the field was ruled a fair catch and therefore dead when the ball was secured. But watch the signal here. What you are allowed to do is you're allowed to actually shade your eyes from the sun with one arm up in the air as long as you don't wave it. And that's the key, waving. So you're really restricted in what you can do as a receiver when it comes to signaling or not signaling for a fair catch. And really the best thing to think about is waving. You can point straight without waving. You can point down. You can do that. And you can raise your hand to shade your eyes from the sun. But any waving motion, like you get the Peter signal where you're kind of waving both hands, that's actually considered a fair catch signal and will kill the play when possession is gained. But in this case, to me, he probably is just shading his eyes with no waving motion. So I don't take that as a fair catch signal, but good to review just the rules. We're going to get a legal pick. I mean, watch this pick. It's a beauty. Look at that pick. You couldn't have done a better job. Stuart Shake. A perfect legal pick there. Watch this rub. The receiver knew exactly what to do. Runs right into Stuart Shake. Man, if he was an offensive player, maybe OPI. Stuart Shake makes, well, he's one of the ones that made my highlight tape. There may be one or two coming up again. Here's a play where an illegal shift is called, but not all 11 players get set. So you get number 5 that's appears to be coming in from the bench. And so the rule is in college that all 11 players must get set before the ball is snapped, get set for a second. And if they don't, then it becomes a false start. So this really should have been a false start on on Ohio State on this particular play. Key is all 11 must get set at some point, and then somebody can go in motion. And then even if 2 guys went, you could have an illegal shift. But initially, you must have 11 players all together set, and number 5 being the 11th player, if that's what he is, heading onto the field, he would have had to have set with everybody else. I just this was interesting to me because I'm not going to go through one by one, but I see Howie, I see the baseball guys, I see pregame show guys. There I am up there on the upper right-hand side. What was that thing? Where's Waldo or whatever? Where the hell is Blandino? He didn't even make the cutouts. Geez, I'm sorry, Dean, but you know, maybe I'll try to sketch something up and give it to the producers going forward from now on. This is quite the formation just to cover it. I mean, look at that. That's quite the formation there. The tackles, look at the right tackle. Is he on the line? I mean, what you basically, the rule is your helmet has to break the waistline drawn through the center, the waist of the snapper, that line drawn through the waistline of the snapper. Well, that's not, but they're just really loose about that, obviously. But these stealth formations, it will be interesting to see if it gets so bad, like I think this is, if they'll make some point of emphasis on this to work to get people up, because it is a decided advantage for the offense, especially the tackles, trying to block against the speed rushers. We have just an extra point here. We had a touchdown return on a punt at the end of the second quarter. So you extend for the try. Would you extend for the try at the end of the game in this situation? Answer would be no, because you could have no impact on the score. So it would have to be a point difference of 2 points or less if you were going to extend. Just a quick reminder of that. You get Nebraska and Ohio State here, which is an interesting play. You're going to get a fumble, and then you're going to get a recovery by Nebraska. And it's a big hit. The question is it targeting? A huge hit. And you watch it coming up here, and there is a shoulder to the head, to the side of the head. Is that a foul? No, because we're not talking about a defenseless player here. We're talking about a runner, which means that you have to lead with the crown of your helmet. So if you're in a runner and you lead with the shoulder to the head, that is not a foul. Against a defenseless player, so it could be one of many, but let's just take a receiver or a quarterback if you want, then this same contact here would clearly be a foul. If this was on a sliding player, it would also be a foul, because once he breaks down and begins his slide, it's considered the play being over, and he is considered to be on the ground and defenseless. But in this situation, when you are a runner like this, big hit, not a foul. We're going to go to Penn State and Indiana. This was one that even caught me by surprise. I don't think it's the intent of the rule, but I understand the ruling. You're going to get a muffed punt, and Indiana, they are the kicking team members. So a kicking team member is going to try to recover at the sideline, and they ruled that he does. So we were all looking to see if that kicking team member was out of bounds touching the ball. And in fact, did he reestablish with a body part before he touched the ball? But it turned out to be a 5-yard penalty for a kicking team member going out of bounds during the kick. And it is during the kick. So once you go out of bounds, that's a 5-yard penalty right off the bat. So no matter if he recovered this ball, they took that away and enforced the 5-yard penalty. You know, the intent of the rule is really for, a player going out of bounds to try to avoid a block or whatever, but technically this is the right rule. But I do think we'll get some discussion as to whether this actually should be treated that way. How you rewrite it, I'm not necessarily sure, but I know that this really wasn't the intent of the rule as it was put in. We're going to get a play here, which was
rather unique. You're going to get a targeting or a lack of a targeting call here, which I think is, the question is a fumble is ruled on the field and time is actually going to run out on the play, but the defensive recovery is still with 2 seconds on the clock. So they put time back on. But watch 13 come in, just delivering a blow with the crown of the helmet. And I would think replay was probably looking at a lot of at the fumble, and if it was a fumble and if there was a clear recovery. But had targeting been called here like I think it should, then it would have basically taken away the recovery by Penn State. And Indiana would have ended up keeping the ball. And we're going to get one more shot here, I believe, which even shows it best. Watch 13 come in and lower his head right into the helmet of the runner. So it would have taken away the fumble. Indiana would have kept the ball. It would have been enforced from the spot of the fumble, and the half would have ended. And as probably poetic justice turns out, sometimes I always said it's better to be lucky than good. Penn State missed the field goal when they added the 2 seconds back on the clock, but just an interesting play. You don't see this very often, but you want to kick off, you can do it with the drop kick or a place kick. Drop kick or a place kick. So you can use a tee and do a place kick. You could have a holder hold it, and you can drop kick it. Unusual, but just a good rule reminder. We're going to skip all the way to an onside kick attempt here, and you get opportunity. You get the opportunity to make a catch of an onside kick, even if it's kicked into the ground. So if it's kicked into the ground and takes that big high hop, then you get protection to make the catch, even if you don't fair catch the make a fair catch signal. You get an opportunity to make the play. So if it's like bounces 3 times, headed out to the sidelines, a bouncing kick doesn't get you the protection, but one bounce driven into the ground and going up into the air, high into the air, affords you the opportunity to make the catch. Interesting play here. You're going to get a pass over the middle that is caught, and it's caught for a first down. So the clock's going to stop for a first down. The helmet comes off. If it wasn't a first down and that helmet came off, would you have had a 10-second runoff? Because that would have been the only reason for the clock to have stopped. And the answer was no, because what time on the clock was left? How much time was left? 1:06. So it could only have been a runoff if it wasn't a first down, and it was within 1 minute, which you can see that it wasn't. But helmet coming off when it is the only reason why the clock stopped is then you could have you'd have the 10-second runoff. And of course, the offense, Indiana in this case, could have used one of their timeouts, which I think they had one left, to save the 10 seconds. Let's see. We are now going to go to a play of play of Saturday, as far as I'm concerned. 2-point try at the end of the first overtime. This to win. Is it a touchdown? Is it not? Official in perfect position, just perfect position. And rule touchdown. And if we just look at this shot again, we can look at this shot again, and we can see that the ball actually does, the rear of the ball, the back point touches the ground, but had the tip broken the plane first. It is so close. You are talking literally inches here. I mean, there's no way that you can tell for sure. It looks like maybe that tip did break the plane, but it's impossible to tell. And the official's in a perfect position, and replay did a heck of a job looking and deciding the same thing that we all thought, that whatever it would have been called would have stood. And since the official called it touchdown, it stood. And looking to the reaction on social media, which I get a lot of, they all think I'm nuts. They all think I'm drunk, saying that he should have stayed with the call on the field. But this is absolutely the right thing to do, because, yep, the back part of the ball touches, but it looks like maybe the front tip broke the plane. So anyways, huge, huge play. And yeah, some people did think I was drunk. Well, so did I. And I'll tell you why I thought I was drunk. Dean Blandino doing San Jose State Air Force late. Here's a play that he was involved in a discussion on a 2-point try. And all of a sudden they're going to go to Dean and, oh, what? This is what the Blandino verse or whatever they're calling it. I mean, I was home. I was home watching this game, and I had a few Tito's, and this was normal to me. I mean, I didn't realize that this actually happened. I just thought it was me. Tito's vodka is good, but then again, I'm not Scott Campbell. I mean, I feel bad that I've been on Scott Campbell. I'm not going to do it anymore because I've teased him about his uniform, his flag. And so now what he's got games where the replay system is a push button phone on the sideline. I mean, you'll run and see that it's a push button phone. Watch that. There it is. It's a regular phone line. Scott Campbell is now on games. Next thing you know, he'll have 2 Dixie cups and a string. I'm not getting on you anymore, Scott. That's it from me. I'm going to quit on this. Have a good week.